Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will dive deep into the explosive twists and turns awaiting us in Port Charles. Over the next 2 weeks, from August 18th to August 29th, where alliances shatter, secrets unravel, and family feuds ignite like never before. Let's kick things off with the ever-intriguing Anna Devane, who's brewing a groundbreaking theory that's bound to shake up the dynamics in town. As a seasoned investigator with a knack for uncovering hidden truths, Anna isn't one to jump into conclusions lightly. But this time, her instincts are screaming that something sinister is afoot. Picture her pacing the dimly lit corners of her office, piecing together clues from recent events, perhaps linking them to shadowy figures lurking in the background. This theory could tie into larger conspiracies, like undisclosed betrayals or long-buried vendettas, adding layers of suspense that keep viewers on the edge of their seats. Meanwhile, Willow Tate steps into the spotlight with a monumental request that's set to test loyalties and reshape relationships. Willow, known for her quiet strength and protective nature, might be reaching out in a moment of vulnerability, perhaps pleading for reconciliation or seeking aid in a personal crisis. Imagine the emotional weight of her words, delivered with trembling resolve, as she navigates the fallout from recent family dramas, making this plea a pivotal moment that could either mend broken bonds or widen existing rifts. On the flip side, Nina Reeves is about to unleash a torrent of fury that's been simmering beneath the surface, ready to erupt in spectacular fashion. Nina's explosive temper, fueled by a history of betrayals and heartaches, could stem from discovering manipulations that hit too close to home, like underhanded tactics involving her loved ones. Envision her storming through the corridors of power, her eyes blazing with righteous anger, confronting those who've crossed her and demanding justice in a scene ripe with dramatic confrontations. This rage isn't just personal, it's a catalyst for broader conflicts, potentially dragging in allies and enemies alike, and highlighting Nina's evolution from a vulnerable figure to a formidable force in Port Charles. Adding to the chaos, Carly Spencer finds herself grappling with alarming signals that set off her maternal instincts. Like a 5-alarm fire, Carly, the resilient matriarch who's weathered countless storms, might sense danger lurking around her family, prompting her to confide in unexpected confidants and take proactive steps to safeguard what's hers. Think of her furrowed brow as she deciphers cryptic messages or missed calls, weaving in new elements like anonymous tips or eerie coincidences that amplify the tension, turning her concern into a full-blown quest for answers. Shifting gears to the week of August 18th to 22nd, Britt Westburn is thrust into a high-stakes scenario where quick thinking becomes her greatest weapon, enlisting Jason Morgan in a clever ruse designed to shield them both from impending threats. Britt, with her sharp wit and medical expertise, could be improvising a cover story on the fly, perhaps involving fabricated identities or staged diversions to outmaneuver pursuers. Jason's stoic reliability makes him the perfect partner in this charade, adding a layer of reluctant camaraderie that deepens their bond amid the danger. Inventing a fresh twist. Maybe this ploy includes decoding encrypted messages or navigating hidden passages, injecting adrenaline-fueled excitement into their partnership and exploring themes of trust in the face of adversity. Elsewhere, Josslyn Jacks emerges as a hero by saving Vaughn's life in a pulse-bounding moment, followed by a collaborative scheme that twists their WSB mission into uncharted territory. Originally sidelined from the operation, Josslyn proves her worth, transforming from a perceived risk to an invaluable ally through her bravery and quick reflexes. Visualize the intense rescue sequence, perhaps involving a daring escape from armed foes, or a improvised medical intervention leading to strategic plotting sessions where they brainstorm ways to turn the tables on their adversaries, complete with new details like forged documents or secret alliances that heighten the intrigue. Back in the heart of Port Charles, Drew Kane squares off against Sonny Corinthos in a heated clash over Michael Corinthos' impulsive punch, escalating tensions to boiling point. Drew's willingness to push for Michael's arrest if Sonny resists cooperation reveals his no-nonsense approach to justice, but it also exposes cracks in family unity. Enter ADA Justine Turner as an unlikely savior for Sonny, perhaps offering legal loopholes or insider insights that tip the scales, introducing a fresh angle where her motivations stem from hidden agendas or past connections. This confrontation builds to Drew's mounting frustration, while Sonny and Michael seize an upper hand, maybe through clever evidence gathering or unexpected testimonies. Analyzing how power dynamics shift in this Corinthos clan showdown, Nina's outburst takes center stage again, possibly triggered by revelations of Drew's cunning manipulation of young wily Corinthos to provoke Michael, a move that backfires spectacularly. This could strain Drew's standing with Willow, who appears ready to unleash her own reprimand, dissecting the ethical dilemmas of using children as pawns and how it erodes trust. Willow's subsequent massive request might involve begging Michael for custody compromises, or enlisting Harrison Chase's help in a legal bind, with added emotional depth like heartfelt letters or tearful confessions that enrich the narrative. Continuing with Nina, she seeks further assistance from Rick Lansing, likely in a high-stakes legal consultation aimed at bolstering Willow's position amid the turmoil. Rick's suave expertise could uncover overlooked precedents or rally supportive witnesses, inventing elements like surprise affidavits that fortify their case and delve into the complexities of family law in Port Charles. Anna, ever the cautious operator, treads carefully in forging a new alliance, perhaps with Jack Brennan, emphasizing mutual trust before unveiling her theory. Could she pinpoint Colette Moreau as the treacherous insider who compromised Josslyn and Vaughn at the Five Poppies Resort? This suspicion adds investigative flair, with Anna poring over surveillance footage or intercepted communications, providing a detailed breakdown of betrayal motifs that resonate throughout the storyline. At General Hospital, Stella Henry faces mounting stress from an insurance fraud probe that's ensnared her, potentially paving the way for a harrowing health crisis like another stroke. The pressure cooker of accusations and scrutiny might manifest in physical symptoms, setting up a dramatic medical emergency that tests the limits of her resilience. Lucas Jones springs into action to save a cherished life, possibly Stella showcasing his surgical prowess in a tense operating room scene, augmented with new details like innovative procedures or emotional flashbacks that heighten the stakes. Curtis Ashford, fueled by betrayal, turns vengeful upon exposing Drew's insincere truths, perhaps plotting countermeasures involving corporate espionage or public exposes that analyze themes of deception and retribution. Ava Jerome receives intriguing updates that could alter her strategies, while Molly Lansing Davis has a revelation, maybe deducing Kristina Corinthos Davis' interference in her romance with Cody Bell, and probing the motives behind it, adding psychological depth through introspective monologues or confrontational dialogues. Corley's alarm bells ring louder as she confides in Brennan, her worry amplified by Josslyn's incommunicado status during her supposed Australian getaway, weaving in invented worries like suspicious social media activity or vague postcards that fuel her paranoia. Transitioning to the week of August 25th to 29th, the Five Poppies Resort becomes a hotbed of shocks, with Jason urging Britt to flee the dubious operation, only for her to resist due to dependency on specialized medication doses tied to her lab duties. This dilemma explores vulnerability and sacrifice, perhaps with added scenes of Jason scouting escape routes or Britt negotiating with shady overseers, dissecting the moral quandaries of survival. Lulu Spencer confronts fresh hurdles in managing the outback amid escalating drama, with Liesl Obrecht, whose machinations could involve sabotage or emotional manipulations, providing a thorough look at resilience in chaos. Rocco Falconeri's curiosity about Britt intensifies, especially upon learning of her survival, sparking innocent investigations that might lead to heartwarming or perilous discoveries, like hidden letters or chance encounters. Next, we will uncover the sizzling undercurrents of Kristina Corinthos Davis' clandestine scheme that's got Port Charles buzzing with intrigue, as she enlists Cody Bell in a risky distraction play against the ever-cunning Ava Jerome, all in a desperate bid to shatter the blackmail chains binding her mother, Alexis Davis. Diving right into the heart of this tangled web, Kristina's covert operation revolves around shelling out cash to Cody, to weave a web of flirtation around Ava, aiming to dismantle the ironclad alliance between Ava and Rick Lansing that's been weaponized against Alexis. This stems from the explosive fallout of Kristina's impulsive brake tampering incident, which Ava and Rick have twisted into a leverage tool to keep Alexis under their thumb. Imagine Kristina, in a shadowy corner booth at a dimly lit cafe, slipping an envelope of hush money to Cody, her eyes wide with determination and a hint of fear, as she outlines the mission: charm Ava, sow discord in her partnership with Rick, and ultimately pry Alexis free from their manipulative grasp. To amp up the drama, perhaps Kristina sweetens the deal with promises of insider tips on lucrative horse racing bets, tapping into Cody's gambling past, making his involvement feel like a high-stakes gamble where one wrong move could topple everything. The sparks really fly with Cody's calculated advances toward Ava, ignited by their steamy kiss at her upscale art gallery, a moment charged with unexpected passion that seems to align perfectly with Kristina's blueprint, fueled by Ava's simmering rage over Rick's rekindled flames with Elizabeth Baldwin. This lip lock wasn't just spontaneous, it's a calculated step in Cody's playbook to erode the foundations of Ava and Rick's blackmail empire. Picture the gallery lights casting dramatic shadows as Cody leans in, his roguish grin masking the ulterior motives, while Ava, ever the opportunist, responds with a fierce intensity that hints at her own hidden agenda, adding a fresh layer. Maybe Cody plants subtle seeds of doubt during their encounter, whispering compliments laced with veiled questions about Rick's loyalty, subtly steering the conversation toward exposing cracks in their united front, all while keeping Kristina's endgame in sharp focus. Yet, Ava isn't one to be easily outmaneuvered, as evidenced by her smug declaration to Nina Reeves that she's got Cody firmly in her grip, suggesting she's flipping the script to stoke Rick's jealousy or orchestrate an even grander ploy. Ava's confidence radiates like a predator sizing up prey, perhaps confiding in Nina over a glass of fine wine at her penthouse, where she reveals snippets of a counter-strategy involving using Cody's affections to manipulate Rick into recommitting to their schemes, or even luring him back into her romantic orbit, inventing a new twist. Ava might be secretly recording their flirtatious exchanges on a hidden device, gathering ammunition to either blackmail Cody later or expose Kristina's interference, turning what started as a simple distraction into a multifaceted game of chess, where every move carries the weight of potential betrayal. The burning question on everyone's lips: is Cody truly the puppet master in Kristina's plot, or is Ava masterfully pulling his strings, transforming him into an unwitting tool in her arsenal? Fans are divided, with heated online forums debating the power dynamics, some arguing Cody's street-smart con artist background gives him the edge, while others point to Ava's storied history of outfoxing heavyweights like Sonny Corinthos as proof she's several steps ahead. Envision a tense standoff at a glamorous charity event, where Cody attempts to deepen the flirtation with a bouquet of exotic flowers, symbolizing hidden intentions, only for Ava to counter with a knowing smirk and a whispered challenge that leaves him questioning his control, injecting fresh suspense into whether his loyalty to Kristina will hold or crumble under Ava's seductive influence. As the plot thickens, Ava dives deeper into this budding flirtation with Cody, her gaze sharp and purposeful, indicating motives that transcend mere rebound romance and delve into calculated power plays. Cody believes he's directing the chaos for Kristina's benefit, but he could be severely outmatched by Ava's razor-sharp manipulation skills, refined through decades of navigating Port Charles' treacherous waters. To expand on this, perhaps Ava invites Cody to a private yacht outing under the guise of art appreciation, where she subtly probes his background, uncovering vulnerabilities like his Quartermaine family ties that she could exploit, all while Cody tries to steer the conversation back to sowing seeds of doubt about Rick, creating a cat-and-mouse dynamic that's as thrilling as it is unpredictable. The ripple effects could be devastating if Ava's approach to handling Cody leads to the unmasking of Kristina's entire operation, potentially trapping him in a web of her own design that extends far beyond jealousy inducement. Meanwhile, Molly Lansing Davis might stumble upon clues to Cody's true intentions, perhaps overhearing a cryptic phone call or spotting a suspicious payment trail and decide to intervene, effectively grounding their flirtation before it soars too high. Imagine Molly confronting Cody in a heated exchange at the Metro Court, her prosecutorial instincts kicking in as she demands answers, adding a new familial layer of conflict that could either bolster Kristina's plan through unintended alliances or dismantle it with legal scrutiny. With Kristina's strategy precariously balanced on Cody's shoulders, the intrigue builds around whether he's genuinely seducing Ava or unwittingly stepping into her elaborate trap. Will Ava's efforts to spark envy in Rick ultimately sabotage Kristina's mission to liberate Alexis, or will Cody's steadfast allegiance prevail against the odds? The audience is captivated by this emerging romance, regardless of its authenticity, but Ava's reputation for cunning suggests she should easily eclipse Cody's maneuversiness. Of course, his underestimated charm proves to be her Achilles heel. At the core, some spectators are pondering if Ava, in her overconfident stride, is actually lowballing Cody's capabilities as a seasoned schemer with a knack for turning tables. What are your thoughts on this electrifying matchup? Who do you believe will emerge victorious in this battle of wits? Or could the unthinkable happen, with genuine sparks flying between these two unlikely players, leading to a romance that upends all expectations? Next, we will delve into the shadowy betrayal rocking the WSB's Croatia mission, where Jack Brennan faces a devastating traitor in his midst, none other than the enigmatic agent Colette Moreau, whose actions could spell doom for key operatives and ignite a firestorm of retribution. In Port Charles, at the center of this explosive scandal, Colette Moreau emerges as a rogue element sabotaging the high-stakes operation in Croatia, her interference throwing a wrench into what was meant to be a seamless undercover endeavor. With her history of fieldwork and a reputation for sharp instincts, Colette's sudden shift to undermining her own team raises red flags across the board, potentially driven by hidden allegiances or personal vendettas that have been festering in the shadows. Imagine her in a dimly lit safe house, fingers hovering over an encrypted communicator, weighing the consequences before crossing the line that could unravel everything Brennan has built, adding a layer of psychological tension as we ponder the cracks in her loyalty that led to this pivotal betrayal. Flash back to the gripping August 13th episode, where Colette single-handedly derailed a crucial WSB assignment by reaching out to the mysterious Pascal with insider details that exposed vulnerable agents on the ground. In a move laced with calculated risk, she fed him precise intelligence about infiltrators at the luxurious Five Poppies resort, a hotspot where Britt Westburn has been spotted amid whispers of clandestine activities. To heighten the drama, perhaps Colette disguised her transmission as a routine check-in, embedding coded phrases that only Pascal would decipher, turning what should have been a secure operation into a ticking time bomb of compromised secrets and endangered lives. Specifically, Colette pinpointed the covert duo posing as the blissful newlyweds Mr. and Mrs. Nash, who are in reality the daring Vaughn and the resourceful Josslyn Jacks, thrust into this perilous web of espionage. Their mission to gather critical intel on the resort's underbelly, perhaps involving black market dealings or hidden labs, now hangs by a thread, with Colette's leak painting targets on their backs and forcing them to improvise survival tactics in hostile territory, inventing a fresh element. Maybe Josslyn and Vaughn resort to emergency protocols like activating hidden trackers or staging a fake argument to maintain their cover, all while the weight of Colette's treachery forces them to question who else in the WSB might be playing both sides. Now, the pressing dilemma looms. Can Colette claw her way out of this self-inflicted mess after irrefutably proving her disloyalty by shattering Joss and Vaughn's facade and jeopardizing the entire investigation? With their covers blown wide open, the agents are left scrambling in a resort teeming with suspicious eyes, potentially leading to chases through opulent hallways or tense standoffs in secluded gardens. Brennan, upon uncovering this breach, is poised to unleash decisive measures, his leadership style demanding swift justice to restore order and deter future insubordination, setting the stage for a confrontation that could redefine alliances within the agency. Delving into the motives behind Colette's shocking snitch, we trace her recent return from a grueling stint in Peru, where she debriefed Brennan on operational updates before abruptly turning code and tipping off Pascal about Joss and Vaughn's Croatian infiltration. This abrupt pivot suggests a deeper undercurrent, perhaps a grudge nursed from past missions or a bribe too tempting to refuse, leaving fans speculating on the breadcrumbs that led her astray. Picture her in Brennan's office, delivering a polished report with a straight face, only to slip away and make that fateful call, incorporating new details like intercepted emails or a mysterious pendant she wears, symbolizing a secret affiliation that hints at her true intentions. When Brennan inevitably exposes Colette's duplicity, the fallout promises to be seismic. Will she reveal herself as a full-fledged double agent, embedded for years, or does a personal stake, like a threatened loved one, explain her sabotage? Regardless, putting Joss and Vaughn in mortal peril will ignite Brennan's wrath, his protective instincts flaring as he contemplates the risks to his carefully orchestrated plans. To expand on this, perhaps Brennan reviews surveillance footage in a high-tech command center, piecing together Colette's timeline with forensic precision, uncovering anomalies like unexplained absences that fuel his growing fury and drive him toward unforgiving action. It's worth noting that Brennan himself navigates a double life, juggling his WSB duties with a budding romance to Carly Spencer, Josslyn's fiercely protective mother, who remains blissfully unaware of his role in recruiting her daughter for this dangerous game. This personal entanglement adds a volatile mix, as Brennan walks a tightrope between professional secrecy and romantic bliss, perhaps sharing candlelit dinners with Carly, while fielding urgent mission updates on a hidden phone, inventing an element. Maybe he gives Carly a custom locket containing a subtle tracking device, blending affection with his covert world, all while the truth simmers beneath the surface, ready to erupt. Should Carly discover that her boyfriend pulled Joss into the WSB's web, her reaction will be nothing short of volcanic, unleashing a torrent of anger over the endangerment of her child in a world of spies and shadows. Envision Carly storming into Brennan's lair, eyes blazing with betrayal, demanding explanations amid shattered trust, especially if Colette's loose tongue results in any harm to Joss, amplifying the stakes with maternal fury that could fracture their relationship irreparably. Brennan's arsenal for handling such betrayals is vast and varied. He could opt for the cold finality of dispatching Colette to the infamous Steinmauer prison, a fortress of forgotten souls, or tap into his more savage side by orchestrating her permanent vanishing act. Known for his ruthless efficiency, Brennan wouldn't soil his own hands. Instead, he'd delegate to a trusted underling, perhaps even someone like Josslyn herself, turning the tables in a poetic twist of vengeance. Adding a new layer, imagine him convening a secret tribunal in an underground bunker, weighing options like exile to a remote island outpost or a staged accident that erases her from existence, all underscoring his unyielding command. So, GH enthusiasts, what's your take on the fate awaiting the deceptive Colette Moreau? Has she unwittingly penned her own demise with this act of treason? Or could a last-minute twist redeem her in Brennan's eyes? Share your theories in the comments, and keep watching as the Croatia chaos unfolds with more heart-pounding revelations.